In recent news, Asmongold responds after what Cinna said during a live stream with Nick, and in that stream, while chatting with NMP, yesterday, Cinna expressed her thoughts about Asmongold standing within OTK. In this clip with NMP, Cinna states, "Do you want my honest opinion? I think if you're tied to, for example, if I had 5 employees and I'm saying a bunch of crazy shiz and it costs those employees their jobs, at what point, like yes, I can be as unhinged as I want, but the people who are affected by it are allowed to be mad at me for being that unhinged, and eventually they should be fully disconnected from me, or like say, I'm not willing to be around this." Again, this is like my personal thing. I don't hate anybody, I don't have drama with anybody. I do not wish any drama with anybody, right? However, I know that certain things that I do not agree with morally is going on, I'm going to just be like, hey, I'm good. After Cinna expressed her thoughts on Nick's stream, Asmongold responds and shares his thoughts in the following.
You see what it says about OTK and you? I heard a little bit about it. Here's the thing. I'm making content and I have like multiple channels that are getting over 100 million views a month. If I spent all my time dealing with every single person that chirped about me, that's all I would be doing. It's not important to me like what other people's perception is or their approval of what I'm saying is or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I think that the main thing that I care about, the main thing I focus on is my own content. If somebody has like a legitimate criticism or something like that, I pay attention to it. But some other it's just not really that important to me. I don't need to be rude back to them. It's not, just doesn't matter. Straight up. I literally don't give a shit. Sorry to say. And, you know, like the thing is that I see plenty of other people that are, that like, you know, they try to always fight it and argue with people, etc. The fact is that I'm doing better than ever. I'm massively successful. I've had opportunities that I've never had access to, and nobody else hardly ever on Twitch or at least even online period has access to opportunities like I do because of what I do. And so and how well it does, and I think that's because of you guys. And so why do I want to waste your time dealing with people that that are chirping about it? Who cares? Unless it's funny, then what's the point? And so yeah, it's that that's it.
Why is everyone attacking Asmongold just because he's based? Maybe he should be seen as a challenger to your perspective. How about that? Why do you want him to stop talking? Is he revealing the cold truth and destroying your reality? Is that it? Disconnect from him, because why? His political stances recently, I swear some of you are soft F. Reading these replies and you're all crying because he says things you don't agree with. Also, didn't these two ride Asmongold's D to gain clout? Asmon went down the drain unsubbed and unfollowed. Living in Germany, I cannot stand the way he's talking now. Used to have some good takes. Unbearable now.
Tyler keeps moving a goalpost.
Tyler keeps moving the goalposts, and then he deflects genuine fears and feelings that he has towards me. First, I offered him to play with one hero. I could make one hero and no other army, and he can make the entire Warcraft 3 army. He could make 100 population army, and I said I'll beat him with one hero. He said there's no shot, and that he's going to dedicate the rest of February to practice. Then he changed his mind. He reviewed my tapes and thought this guy isn't that bad at Warcraft 3. He said instead you can only play with one hand. I refused because it's a ridiculous notion, but I thought about it. Next day I came back and I said, okay, I'll play with one hand. Then he said it has to be your non-dominant hand. So now I have to use my left mouse, my left hand on the mouse. Like, what are we even talking about here? He wants to play with me with my left hand on the mouse. While I was considering that, he said, oh, and by the way, it should be 3v1. I get to pick 2 teammates. It should be 3v1. Isn't that fair, or are you scared? The utter hypocrisy.
It's honestly a compliment. Tyler needs all these conditions to compete with Grubby. Now imagine if Grubby wins despite this LOL. If anyone has a grasp of how to even the playing ground in WC3, it's probably Grubby himself. The only reason either of them are doing it is obviously content. So just have Grubby figure out a rule set that makes for the most entertaining matches. 3v1 is a good start. That adds more people to the mix, which naturally means more content, but then don't limit his actions. I want to see Grubby's APM and macro on full display, not hindered behind him, not able to click and use keybinds. That's boring. To make it fun, Grubby needs to be able to showcase just how insane the gap between them is, but in a way that Tyler could still potentially see a victory screen. You don't have a show match between a silver player and a challenger player, and then ask the silver player on how to make the match even. They don't even know how to win 90% of the time they're in positions to. You ask the challenger player who understands everything about the game.